would like to keep trying the new Xelhua a little bit. After the changes, I think that as a hero it has a lot of potential. I think Sadrak is probably a little bit better. But I haven't really gotten a lot of start with Xelhua offerings as of late, so I'd like to try it. Basically, the way that you kind of need to play him is you just need to present your strongest board for the first pretty reasonable chunk of the beginning of the game, and then you can kind of transition out of almost all of it once you get to tiers 4, 5, 6. Seeing as everything is on discount, extra EXP, so stuff like adventures and really leveraging the extra EXP can go a lot farther on Xelhua because you can pick up the transitional units once you get there a lot more easily. So here against Waddle, I actually don't mind something like this. Tiny, I think, is probably the correct unit with Humpty Dumpty if you're not taking 4 Glory here. I think most of the time in the early game, Tiny and Humpty Dumpty will kill basically the same unit or the same amount of units. But in this instance, because he has so much of a larger butt, we're able to survive and get the 4 Glory minion. That sort of offsets the cost that this Humpty Dumpty really has. These units are not ideal. I don't particularly like any of this. But we don't really want to reroll, and this magic research, while it's okay on something like the Polywoggle, it's not great. I think we're just going to take the Minotaur and the Kitty Kitty Cut Purse here. And we're going to see if we can try and maybe get a sleigh with this. To get a little bit of extra gold. Perfect. We're getting defeated very easily because our opponent had a Polywoggle and turned it into a very strong early game unit. Looks like that maybe happened on turn 1, which is really not great for us, but there isn't a whole lot that we can do. Here I like the Sleeping Princess and the Cinderella. And then I actually like using the Luminous Grace to wake this up. It's a pretty big unit. I don't actually hate the good support for next turn. Not sure if it's strong enough to justify locking. Might be. Support like these two. It's not really that good. It's fine, but it's not that good. Yeah, I think something like this, I guess. Maybe like this. Yeah. I don't feel like we're particularly strong, but the Woken Princess is pretty good here. Let's hit this. Alright, that's okay. We will end up winning this combat. Basically, we stem the bleeding. We're getting close to 4, and we have not taken that much damage so far, which is really the ideal place to be, I think. So I think we'll pick this up and then roll. I don't particularly like Shard of the Ice Queen on either of these, because I'd like to keep the pair. Yeah, that seems good. So we'll pick that up. I think I like Secret Stash. The 3 health is really nice. And I think we're in an Earthquake, so we definitely want to cast a spell. I think this layout is fine. I'm not particularly interested in any of these for where we're trying to end up. The reason that I like Secret Stash over the other two are also speculative, or ones that don't really do anything until later as well. Whereas this one will give us a little bit healthier spot, and hopefully we don't lose here, but maybe in the next round. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. All of our units are basically hitting the worst targets they possibly can. Wow, literal worst the entire time, so that's not ideal. But then we get a little bit of extra gold for this round, so we can try to set ourselves up a bit better going forward. So I do like the good support here, and then I think we'll roll. Not sure if we're strong enough for this pick, but I would like to take it, given that we're going into 4 next turn. I'd like to try and gamble for this. I think we'll cast this spell again. Trying to decide what I'd like to do with this last gold here. I think it's take Tiny and like switch it out something like this to present the strongest board that we can, or at least the most offensive one. And the reason that we're putting Tiny in the back here is that we want to give him the biggest chance of trading with a minion, and if he's over here, there's a pretty good chance that our opponent is going to attack into him, and 6 attack is pretty reasonable. Since we're fighting Skip, he should be almost into tier 5 by now. So he's going to have a pretty strong board, I think. Luckily, the Earthquake did okay for us, and so did the Dragon. The opponent was actually very weak, which is great for us, because now we do get the Pig Gold going into turn 4. So Copycat being cheap, not exactly what I'm looking for. I do think we can roll off of that. Now this board, this I like. So I think we can pick up like the trees and possibly just the Friendly Spirit here. And then that should let us get rid of 2 units. I'd like to buy this spell. I think in that case we can get rid of the Kitty Cut Purse. So what is our lineup going to look like? Kind of want something like this to make sure that this is getting the buff. This can come into the back now. So our board is going to look something like this. So really any of these units would be reasonable to remove here. Just get rid of Tiny for now. Alright, so when a monster dies, this is a monster, so that would scale this up. We could give the trees a little bit more attack, but then they lose other stuff. I think we're just going to pick the Hermes Boots. This attacking first and actually potentially getting off the trigger to buff one of our other units is going to be pretty good. It's fine, that ends up buffing our broccoli a bit here. So we are getting pretty close to triggering this, actually. It won't end up getting off, but we got 3 triggers on it, which is pretty nice. And we're going to get to keep the pig buff. Pretty healthy with Xelhua here. These are not exactly the trees that I'm looking for. Cheap Sporko doesn't seem terrible. Yeah, we can pick up a Sporko. I don't think vulture's where we want to be here. I like this quite a bit. So I think we are done with this at this point. So we can pick this up. We're going to put it here. Put the tree prints here. Something like this. So this is where we would be looking currently, I believe. Possibly even... kind of like that being in. I think we can roll then. Oh, excellent. Characters in your front row have extra attack. Or hidden cash. Probably the extra attack. Well, given that, I kind of want to rearrange it like this. I do want to leave this in over the pig, since we're fighting against Wonderwaddle. Okay, we didn't get the last hit on this, which is unfortunate. As Crafty being a bit too large. I think we're going to be a little short here. Yep, just a little bit. I think we'll pick this up because we already have one. Not really looking for this. I do like Fireball this early, however. Speculative Medusa is not bad. We already have a lot of units that want to try and be in the back. So I think we can roll over this for now. Polywoggle's not bad going into 5, but we really don't care that much about trying to force into units, given that we can buy them pretty cheaply. So I think we can get rid of this now. We can pick up another tier 4 treasure. Those are not the ideal treasures. We don't really summon any units, and I don't know how much I care about this. Maybe we take this so that we can get this Polywoggle here. Muerte on 4 is likely pretty weak. So I think I'll pick that up, and then we'll try and trigger this next turn. Sporkle giving 10 attack is pretty relevant. I do think that we want to set it up like this to try and get more attack in rather than the extra 2 health. And since this does get to attack first, it's pretty likely for it to trigger and hit something else. Him having double Romeo is going to be really pretty bad for us. Can we shoot? Oh, okay. Well, alright. When I said double Romeo, I meant unlimited Juliets, apparently. So we did get that. This would have been good a lot earlier with the Friendly Spirit, I think. I do like Deck of Many Things. This is giving us, what, 12 attack in the front row? I think we're kind of over the Gilded Harp at this point. I'm going to go ahead and roll. I think this is okay. I don't love Lancelot here. I believe that this should be big enough to... Deck of many things. Why are you like this? Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, that was not ideal. Be copycat friendly spirit. How big is this on its own? Just a 6/6. It's probably not the greatest either. I think we'll pick that up for 3. Done with the pig. We're a bit too weak for that to be relevant. This needs to be replaced this turn, essentially. Not sure Soul Tank is good enough to replace it with, though. It's 5 health. Such a marginal upgrade. Another tree. Let's put the tree here. Could just be this. Maybe we can't afford the Polywoggle. Yeah, I don't know if I played this game very well. I think if I would total up this game, I would say that I played it pretty badly. Yeah, we're dead here. Oof. Well, we're just spewing MMR here, I suppose. Oh, it ended up in a 6th. Yeah, that was not a very well played game. I'm not too happy with that result. I don't think that we did very good at transitioning from 3 to 4.